So it has, all right, be quiet. Jenna. Dan. So where have you heard the term pedigree related to something else? Gio?
Dog.
Yeah, do you know what it means? It is used commonly when you're talking about dogs. Do you know what it means?
Can wrestle.
Pedigree?
Like they're pure.
Sort of. So if you are going to buy a dog, for example, a purebred golden retriever, when you go to a breeder, they may show you or give you a copy of what's called the dog's pedigree. And basically what it is, it's basically like a family tree for that dog. And what it's meant to do is to show you that the dog you're getting is a pure golden retriever, because it'll tell you who the parents of that dog were and what breed they were, and their grandparent dog and so forth. So it allows you to sort of trace back some of the ancestry of your dog to be sure you're getting a purebred dog. We also use pedigrees when we're talking about human traits as well, and that's the context we're talking about. Sometimes a person will create a pedigree diagram of a family, especially if they're trying to trace certain traits through the family, certain genetic diseases. They can use that to sort of see how these things have been inherited from person to person. So we have some pretty simple rules that we follow when we create a pedigree. And if you follow those steps, it's really not that difficult. So we use symbols, first of all. Symbols to represent different people in a pedigree. And we always use a square for males. And we use circle for a female. When we're creating a pedigree, we're usually tracing a certain trait or characteristic or disease. So when a person has whatever characteristic we're studying, we shade in their symbol. So if it's shaded in, it means they have a certain trait. So this would be a man that has whatever trait we're studying. This would be a woman that has the trait. Yeah. So those are the symbols we use. But the other part is about how we connect these symbols. So if we're trying to indicate that two people are married or that two people had children together, we connect them side to side, directly across from each other. That symbolizes married or having children. What do you think this represents then? What if they're connected in that way? It means something different. Rachel? Yeah, those are siblings. This is a brother and a sister. They're connected sort of up and over. And where would this line go? Jacob?
To their parents?
Yeah, their parents would be up here. And that's how we start to create these pedigree diagrams. We'll do a couple examples to make sure you understand. So let's take this one for example. We have a man that is colorblind. So in this case, we're shading in colorblindness. We'll talk about that in a minute. So a man that's colorblind. What kind of symbol are we going to use for this male that's colorblind? Raise your hand.
Ooh, I raised my hand.
Anna?
A square that is shaded in.
Yeah, shaded in square. Okay, he marries a woman who's not colorblind. What kind of symbol are we going to use for his wife? Chris?
Regular circle.
Regular circle. And since they're married and they have children, we connect them side to side. Where are their children going to go?
Below them?
Yeah, below them. So we draw the line down and we have a space where we can put each of the three children. And then we need the symbols for those children. So they have a boy who is colorblind. What symbol are we going to put there, Maggie? Yeah, shaded in square. Then they have two girls who are not colorblind. What are we going to use there? Yeah?
Circles.
Two plain circles. And that's our pedigree. Shows the parents, shows the offspring, shows who's colorblind and who's not. This is a two-generation pedigree. pretty simple. They can get much more complex and go many generations, but most of ours are going to be fairly simple. Have you seen a picture like this before?
Oh, I see now.
So raise your hand if you can explain what this is. Jacob?
It's a 25 to like people who don't have color blindness, but it's like a mix of like different colors for people who are colorblind.
Yeah, this is a diagnostic test. So when you go to the eye doctor, for example, they may show you at some point a series of pictures that look like this. And what they're testing is for various types of color blindness. Because a person with color blindness may not be able to tell the difference between these two colors. Even though if you have normal vision, it seems obvious. You can see the 25, no problem. It's very clear. A person that can't see differences in those shades, they wouldn't see any number there. They would just see a series of circles. So they show a person this, and if a person can't recognize the number, then they may do further testing to see if they have color blindness. There's different types of color blindness. It's generally caused by a problem with a certain type of cell in your retina called the cone cells. They are what detect color, and sometimes they don't work properly. There's different types of color blindness. Red, green color blindness is probably the most common. And it's also, this type of color blindness is a sex-linked trait, which means it's a trait carried on the X chromosome, and it's recessive. So if that's the case, if it's on the X chromosome and it's recessive, how many recessive genes would a man need to become colorblind? Just one, because he only has one X chromosome. How many genes would a woman need to get to become colorblind? She would need 2 recessive genes. Because if she has one normal gene, that's dominant. That's what's going to show through. So who's more likely to be affected by colorblindness?
Boys.
Yeah, males. If they only need to get 1 recessive gene, females have to get 2. All right, let's do another quick. You guys do this one on your own. It should only take a minute or so. Same idea, just different traits now. You go ahead and drop. All right, think you got it? All right, couple has 4 children. The mother has a widow's peak. That's what we're shading. What symbol does the mother get here? Maggie? Shaded circle. The father does not. Suli, what symbol does he get? Right, an unshaded square. They have 4 children total, so we need a spot for all 4 children. 2 females with a widow's peak. Jamie, what symbol do they get? Shaded circles. Then they have 2 children who do not have a widow's peak. One is a boy, one is a girl. What symbol does the girl get, Jack? Blank circle. What does the boy get, Nate?
A blank square.
Correct. Yeah, so once you know how to do this, it should be fairly easy. But, so there's like 4 more examples in your packet. We're not going to do all those. They're all basically the same, but we are going to do one more. Flip over to the back of your packet. It's just blank. If you really understand this, then you should be able to do this last one.
Anyway, can do this one.
This one's so easy,
All right, so you do not, listen, you do not need to write down all of this. What you need to do is draw the pedigree of this family. And I'll give you one hint. Hold on, Jacob. Because it starts off by talking about Joe. But I don't want you to put him at the top of your page. Can you guess why? Because it's later in the paragraph tells you about his parents and grandparents. So if you put him at the very top, you'll know where to put them. So start with Joe around the middle of your page, and that'll make things easier for you. Okay? So take about 5 minutes. Read this example. Just take it step by step. It may seem complicated, but it's all the same rules that we just went over. You just need to do it a piece at a time. And then in a minute, I'll show you the right answer. Then we'll be ready to move on. The whole family. Are you done?
Yes. Mr.
We're going to go over it all.
No, I have a question. When they, I don't think Joe got married, would you draw like a line down and they connect?
A line down?
Like,
No, married gets connected side to side.
I know that, but I mean,
His kids?
yeah, no, so
You
you
draw
know,
a line
he has the
from the
kids.
line.
He has the kids, so he has so his parents have the kids, and then he's one of the kids, and he's married.
Oh, he's saying like he's putting Joe down and then Mary
No.
later.
No. He's got to get married right there. Each person's only on there once.
Yeah, you have to put the wife next to Joe.
All right, how many people think they're done and think they did it correctly?
Wait, I haven't put it yet.
What?
Okay, I think, I don't know if this is right, but I put Joe in the middle, so I draw a line down, put Joe.
Yeah, so that's where people sometimes run into a problem. They start with Joe right in the middle and then his brothers and sister on each side. But then when it comes time for Joe to get married, it's nowhere to fit him, right?
Yeah.
So when I show you mine, I'll show you I kept Joe on the end so that his wife could go on the side. But it shouldn't go down. You should just squeeze it in next to it somehow.
I did it right then.
All right, so let's look at this and see how you did. So I'll walk you through the steps. Check yours. If you could do one like this, then you definitely understand it shouldn't be any problem. The ones on your quiz on Monday are much simpler than this. All right, so let's start with Joe. In this case, we're shading hitchhiker's thumb. So Joe, he has it, so he gets shaded in there. All right, now it talks about his father. So again, his father's going to need to go up here, up above him. His father has a straight thumb, so he doesn't have hitchhiker's thumb. But his mom shares his trait, so she does. So now we have Joe, and now we have his parents. Okay, Joe has two brothers as well, so they're going to go next to him. His two brothers do not have it, so they get blank squares. So his two brothers. But his two sisters do have it, so they get shaded circles. So now we have Joe, we have his brothers and sisters, and we have his parents. But now we're looking back in Joe's family, and he learns that his father's mother had it. So here's Joe. Here's his father. His father's mother is going to be up here. His father's mother had hitchhiker's thumb. His father's father had straight thumb. So those are Joe's grandparents. All right? Joe marries a woman with straight thumbs. Straight thumbs means a circle, unshaded. Now they have children. They have 4 children altogether. Joe's children are born. 2 daughters have straight thumbs. So they just get plain circles. 1 son has hitchhiker's thumb. And the other son has a straight thumb. Did anybody get it 100% correct? Okay. What? Yeah, so here's a couple things here. Is the order of the children is not really that important for us. So you could have had Joe at this end instead of here. You could have had the sisters, then the brothers. You could have the mothers on one side, the father on the other. That stuff doesn't really matter as long as they're connected in the correct way and they each have the correct symbol. Dan?
Have you ever had a student with OCD who told you that really annoyed them?
No. All right, here's another, just bring up colorblindness one more time. This is what a person with red-green colorblindness, this is what a rainbow would look like. This is the normal, red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet.
That's cool.
Instead, they have difficulty telling the red, orange colors and then the green.
The one that says we're not.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, that looks like the Irish. It looks like the
Mr. Duroff might find your
All right, get a new one.
Good job.
So again, here you see the colored pencils normally, and then with red-green color blindness.